Good morning, y'all. I'm back with another TBR. This time we're going to do my September TBR, and I'm really excited about it because I decided to do 2 months, September and October, of Halloween stuff. So I'm going to try to read mostly horror and thriller to get like in the Halloween mood. Right now I've already started reading The Institute by Stephen King, and I had this love-hate relationship with Stephen King books because I hate how drawn out they can be sometimes, but then at the same time, once I start one, I can't put it down. It's so good. I'm reading The Institute this month, and then I'm saving The Shining for next month. So The Institute is about, the main character is this boy Luke. His parents get killed one night, he gets kidnapped, and then he wakes up in this room that looks like his, except there's no window, and he finds out he's in the Institute, which is a place where they bring kids and teenagers up to the age of 16 who have telekinesis or telepathy, and they're experimenting on them. And right now he's in front half, where they experiment on them and they stay there for a few weeks, and they go to back half, which nobody knows what happens in back half. So I'm only about 20% into it, so it's still kind of filling everything out, but it's really good so far. Now, if I get in the mood for a physical book, I only have a few of those because the libraries are still closed. So most of the books I'm reading are ebooks on Libby or audiobooks on Libby, and that's fine, but sometimes you just miss holding a book, you know. So I've got 2 picked out from my little TBR, and one of them is A Sight for Sore Eyes by Ruth Rendell, and I looked it up, and it's a thriller, and it sounds pretty good. It says, damaged children grow up in different ways. Some can shuffle off the horrors of the past. Others cannot change who they are or will never know how. Teddy Grex became a handsome young man. Francine Hill grew up beautiful, but it was death that brought them together. So it sounds really interesting. It sounds like a pretty good thriller, but it's that one, and I'll read that. The other one I got is The Woods by Harlan Coben, and I'll read you some of the synopsis. I don't want to read too much. It says, 20 years ago, 4 teenagers at summer camp walked into the woods at night. 2 were found murdered, and the others were never seen again. I'm not reading anymore. That's all I need to read. It just sounds so good. And there's something about, like, going camping and you're in the woods and, you know, things happen. It's just something about the woods at night is just creepy. And I know that's weird for me to say because I'm a country girl, but yeah. Okay, so audiobooks. Right now I'm listening to My Lady Jane, which is about Jane Grey. Yeah, Lady Jane Grey. And that's by Cynthia Hand, and it's actually pretty good. It's got shapeshifters, there's a horse. So, and also I want to finish the whole series. If I like this one, then I'll continue with the series. There's 2 other Janes, and I can switch back and forth between those and continue the Stephanie Plum series by Janet Ivanovich. I'm really enjoying those. I read like 6 this past month, but that'll be in my wrap up. As far as fantasy and sci-fi, I tried to stick more to, you know, what I'd read around Halloween. So, The House on the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune, I didn't get around to reading it in August, so I want to definitely try to read it this month. It's about this man who's a social worker for special kids, I guess. They have powers, and there's this house on this island on the Cerulean Sea, a foster home for these special kids that have these powers, and he's sent there to check on them. There is a gnome, a sprite, a wyvern, an unidentifiable green blob, a were Pomeranian, and the Antichrist. So I'm imagining it's going to be pretty funny. It says he must set aside his fears and determine whether or not they're likely to bring about the end of days. I guess because the Antichrist is there, plus they're all different. But I love stories about kids with superpowers or kids that are different. So I think I'll really enjoy this book. Another one I want to read is The Seep by Channa Porter. I saw Lala from Books and Lala talking about it, and it just sounded really interesting. The synopsis says, Trina is a 50-year-old trans woman whose life is irreversibly altered in the wake of a gentle but nonetheless world-changing invasion by an alien entity called the Seep. So that's all I need to know. There's aliens involved. But I think I remember Lala talking about her partner wanted to be reborn or something. So she's having to deal with that grief of losing her wife Deba. It's just this utopian society run by the Seep, which is this alien that kind of controls everything, but it's utopian and not dystopian. So it just sounds weird enough to be interesting. And if I get in the mood for something a little bit lighter, then I want to try to read the Bromance Book Club by Alyssa K. Adams. I didn't even start it last month, but I know the first one is about this man, his wife wants a divorce because he's not romantic enough, so he joins this book club that's all men, and they try to help him work on his marriage. So it just sounds interesting. If I get in the mood for supernatural or paranormal, the reason I say two, I think I said this last month, but the reason I say two of like each genre that I read the most is because of me having to use Libby. Sometimes the one I want is checked out and I have to wait for it, so then I have to pick another one. So that's why I'm doing two. The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. It was checked out last month. I didn't get to read it. So I really want to read it though. The synopsis said fried green tomatoes and steel magnolias meet Dracula in the southern flavored supernatural thriller in the 90s about a woman's book club that must protect its suburban community from a mysterious and handsome stranger who turns out to be a blood-sucking fiend. I'm old school, so fried green tomatoes, steel magnolias, all that stuff is right up my alley. It sounds like it's gonna be funny too, because it's like these women in the book club and they're going after a vampire, so I figure things are gonna happen to keep it funny. But I've really been wanting to read it, but every time I try it's checked out, so maybe I'll get around to it this month. And I've heard several people talking about Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. Hope I said that right. But from what I remember them talking about is this woman, her cousin gets in touch with her because she's having issues, so she goes to find out what's going on, if her cousin's okay, and I'm pretty sure it's a haunted house maybe, so it's just, I think it would be really good and maybe scary or creepy to read, since I'm trying to read more of that to get ready for October. So I think that would be interesting to read if I get in one of those scary moods. Because so far the Institute by Stephen King is not really scary. It's more like superpowers, I guess you could say. And then I don't know if it's the government, but it's not scary at all so far. Hopefully it will be. But that's all I have for now. And I've got others, but I'm trying to save them for October, like The Shining by Stephen King. I've been waiting for October to read that one, so yeah. But that's all I have for my TBR. My daughter just had gallbladder surgery, so I'm keeping little Rosie probably for the next 3 weeks. Me and her other grandmother are kind of both keeping her so we could both spend time with her, and so I'm not getting to read as much, which is fine because grandbaby, you know. So that's why I didn't put more on here, but I mean, that's fine. I just read when she's not here, and when she's asleep I'm either up cleaning or something. You know how it is when you have kids, you have to do it when you can. So but anyway, that's all I put. I'm not gonna try to overwhelm myself. It's supposed to be fun, you know. But see y'all in the next video.